Etiefo adofo me mamajo eba nokware ne adwumadie so na meka yetiefo se nokware ne yede ya wada bia anka no nsia enya bo sevim na anka yede ahyehyehye so nenso Ramadan nti say no yebre no asesa nti efiti ene edeko obo ade enya adom yen yede nokware ne no yebeye no nonsia aba pam ya wada bia nti etiefo enhye ne nso na Ramadan no evia na afedie yabko back to your normal time. Inti etiefo mesa amamajo amamakwa aba na nsa na yebehye dwumadie nase no yebefiti ase no niema bebre twagui na watwi mu eye president, the most arrogant, the most unprepared president ekotena BBC na enam se Ghana yejeje ne sososo ne so ema se empo no ye bibia ye soso ne so nti no ohunu na se ye wesa ade no de man nti oba ya na ayese chew and pour nti ade bia wo beka any book na ye de ama ne pe na ne buafu ti se de Kwame Sefa kan eye we ya ema Kwame Sefa kan eye ni interview okoka sa ohene na wo afrawo na sem a ede nsem pii ede baaye no na ema ne bufuye no nti ono de ani book mu bia wa provoke no sana ye president eye adu show boy adu empty adontro say no ekufu ado amaya ate ase se sa wono akasa no ne bibia oba implement no onim ade no ne mfiti ase ene na wieye obia wa maya hunu se onim de oye ampa efise se wonim de oye no expect free education ti se de nkrofo ka no na enra se nansa ne na hunu se papai niti no esi ho kutu obi na ka wo se achimni anim nyefe no na enye na tiko na we di ohwe a baabia age agu baabia anye fesa sade nanim tie ne sa na adwene ne tenti wa feel say judge for yourself wo feel say na adwene no fesa nanim a ewo ho na adwene no so etan se nanim a no so wo ho obia ewo de na adwene de ka kire no na meme de me hu se papa yi wo si e-levy na uti BBC studio ekura over 30 years na akwa 30 years ni free wonfie mu ukwaji ayarese ewo UK umate ho ana ko school wona wo yere ene umate ho wo mada so te ho ene wo nana mote ho oda so ka se sankrofo no omo no over 30 years omo ne amanye enso ayarehwe eho na akohwe no na ka ekura omo ne amanye de ka akopɛ den wo ho ohu eno no ana emaye hunu se entro de odi beye bia no eda wani me twen de obeye bia won tro mu no twen
yeah me de boko de and
nyankofa adom inti no nyemeda nyankofa se na de watimi a join
abunsan no sa join and nti I've been able to come in
and deal nyankofa adom ensagene abem inti yeda obo ade asese waye adom ama enne nokware ni etimi ayeba so kama na sede nyankopon awie pa no mfa wahya asase pa no on fire nko awie ye pa enso emfa nka ho e kire se ene de nokware ni nie dwumadie yi sɛde ɛteɛ na yɛyɛ ne daa no ne di kan de akwa akoto ayi yɛfɛ ne sɛ various platforms na so fi sɛ yɛni yɛwɔ brɛ kra yɛni brɛ saa nneɛma bebree na ɛtai esi yɛ kwan nti adɔfoɔ ehu sɛ yɛwɔ hɔ a na ɔmo so atimi aba abɛjoin ne nti doc wobɛbɛ mu na enye sisi a ne sa meye entete ho kakra bi ansa na mahye yahye dwumadie nase nti no waba akwaba netena se ne ma mesima kakra bi na memfa nema engugu akon medigu akwan mu wi a na kyese mede afidie no amaw na afi wakasa nti no menya share wo social media ne de obi ansa akabi enesa na obi a betimi ajoin na meka entete ho no ene ne se aban wei ekọ meka kakra bi fi se wo bebree ka na meko obi ne manka bi de enye wei na president amaye ho ate ase se ono seminya alert ewo mimomo so a echese me industry na chese onu akase mu no onim de oye president nti 11 na wodi amaga na for se yentua no onti ase na journalist akoye research ehunu se sei na ekoso o maga na mu a ewosenka wo president ahobrasie mu no an empon ka wonim de wo ya ewo answers anka de bema no ansa no enkoye emawo no hwe o say journalist na provoking no efi se enye kwa me sefa kan ana na interview no ana enye MPP station ana eye no interview no ntino ma obi ehunu se papa yi oye so empty in the head wenye bibia anka se UK over 30 years chese beginning no a omoba abem 2017 John Mahama ana eja nyankopon cha ade na ye friend say covid by covid aba ene covid atwam a unsan fere ade unsan so say Ukraine ne Russia abra Ukraine kwa ya to ahye omo so no omo economy ni ye good niema ekoso wano omo hwe omo niema de nanso bibi ekoso no ye de ntokwa ne to nchen a bibi ekoso kama omo inflation omo bibi ada na akwem na ye den na ye kan say journalist ni bi eka kire ne say even Russia na omo de na kofo nanso ye sanction ye de amane nti na chese ekufu adote ho ana ye interview no na wo ye sa niema we ya na chese papa no in fact asem no eni de odi di Ghana fo nyina onti ase oni abadaye onim chese onim say ye ho kire ye mpo ana onim what is going on the ground na chese omo feeding on they are feeding him wrongly inti amadi obeka bia sebi impredia sa kwen because we share interview ni bia kakra na ye bobo ba ye no e kire say president a sebio oye empty enya sa yen die hu no John Mahama penso say eba local eya fesa ofan easy sa so no international ofan easy it's when local pressmen pampower international press will expose you and oma exposing the papa any word ye wachechire na ankrema odiaba na ekura omone amanya na ya alcohol bobosia no kwaku ado kwaku the traveler wa fairly big time ye the to nchen a enne so matters arising and say eye baumia ka say oba bema their speech and access state of the nations whatever it is our friend say na oye campaign aden still Bawumia ohun say on a vice president of Ghana na ana ohun ne say opposition so ohun ne ho so opposition enye star anka denti ana ensem a wo kan ye nyina wo boa e kire say Ghana ha ene no wiase no aye kete into who chantra ye said that cause foolish soldiers for ekogu background and o kan asem ya na ye boy ensema no Bawumia sawo yire any MPP for da wa massa and somehow be kan ye ni nyina te said ye campaign ada o ka se ye 2024 already ana ye 2022 ma obi mpenchew na wake up from your dreams say yes dear asha wutiri mu ache bra bonten bekasa enne se why fasting after Ramadan yeka wodeka another 30 days because enne de okan ye no krese emi watwa ntronko one kind of baako just 2013 2016 2014 sa data no de ye de yes wo ba wa be ye den eno ho asem ne yeka it no we were expecting you say start from 2017 day banning improvement ayes said imprediasa omo ye arrogant no oya bone a ana oya ade na oti a say ye kan na o kan wo de be she break wan fan she breaker or the be she ni steer wan fan she ni steer or the be she crutch wan fan she crutch or the be she break wan fan she a break isusu a obeka se na ne battery na ye weak enne enu bi ne course so ewo Bawumia eyi no a obeye ye no inti Bawumia wa we somehow kan ye nyina ye ntro ya momfa nto mutiri mu say we are no longer living in the 80s. Grow up. Said the oya can digital. And then the world is the global village. It's we are see a kiti. It is our data now the brotu when papa obwa inti no fatu tirim na ansana medeba hyehyɛ no meda adofo a ya ebrano omobo machi dom na omo eboa me support me 4G ana nana hima Mercedes Dixon meye asori Daniel Azi Guru wudi de akada kwa meka trema ana mebra Sumaila Abdella ana Audu Isaka ana Dr. Lawrence ene wabeka me say ana Dr. Jerome Kwabne J Sabato ma Becky our deputy women's organizer UK Ireland chapter ana Kwabna Tewia ana Mr. Esen Kwesi Joseph oye me flyer ede chemi nyankopon enhra oye pa mani so ana Mr. Ibrahim baby awobia Hawa Ali women's organizer or tafo ene madofo enyina nyamishra obibia Mama Tundra incoming Ashanti regional women's organizer nyankopon hra Hajia Sadiq me maame ana Queen Mother Mama Lu nyankopon enhra papa pana Irene eye Mama Lu ba miami nia Reverend Sena nyamishra inti doc answer the ebesha ase na medical day we no atudwa amatiefo so ombekan de ekoso ne dada inti aftermath of e-levy is NDC justified with the court case ana BBC Peter Okocha told President Akufo-Addo in an interview that Ghana's current economy is terrible. Do you agree? And a third one, Akufo-Addo again, after placing ban on all government officials, are we practicing what we preach? And a matters arising. Into no first question, no, Obechia etie for na
NIE and say I am I am honored to be on your show, and for the first time since you started this operation, and I'm honored to be here. Obubo dino mate Benjamin Pabite edinum minim so really free and I say boy na mante so dia and yeah because you and then it's my child back all right and that's so yeah that kufra onyankopon abia man say yembe chire ya adwene ewo nsem a kokko to wo Ghana na yehwe se through the adventure no yebetimi asache nipa ba kwa na enu bi adwene a as to whether say omo free NDC and NDC omo won omo very fair na say yebesa obi a all decided how and where he is going to or she is going to vote in 2024 no yebehwe say betimi asase nipa kwa adwene actually ne say NDC is the party for him or her, you know. If we get this opportunity now we try to edit and entertain and let people know that NDC is the best party that you can join and you can vote for. Now, before I start, Mami fa kwanya tsunami ma nkamofoni na Ramadan Mubarak. Na yen show mutin ewo de omo ye na ye mom pa ye emu a omo te afi we de o bisa afi onyankopon ho da no onyankopon onye ma wo mo you know enti enkramufo me weshimu na Ramadan Mubarak why na me enemo enta no em say your friend is saying these are questions straight to be honest with you, they sum up in the interviewer BBC Focus Emma you know and I will touch all the three at the same time, but where you think say messy a question, you can draw my attention to that. Then we can take it from there because Dr. Lawrence, I'm always ready for any question, and my answers have always been to educate people out there. Now, Dr. Mia Ekujina, one of the universities, are saying, or no Casano or Catherine said he was giving the State of the Nation address. Do you understand? Meanwhile, the State of the Nation address are always given by the presidents. And we are aware that the president has already given the State of the Nation address. I have no idea what Dr. Bawumia meant when he said he was going to give the State of the Nation address. And okay, and no more first time this, first time that, first time this, first time that. I am zooming into the interview by BBC of Nana Akufo-Addo because government no yet for your friends and Ghana for a more. Now, what we say, the government no abide no I normal way I'm Ghana for some economic measures na atwa. Now, after a year, Ghana see who you Russia in the whole world. Ghana's currency is the worst after Russia. So will you Russia free what? Or man, you know the whole world and Africa and now West Africa. We are talking about the world. And to say about we are no more be broke can say why get I'm Ghana for not by I know. Now times now why when you know a Ghana currency the worst in the whole world after Russia. Now it means Dr. Baumia Ekano any day and now before the now BBC Ekano. It looks as if they are in the different political parties. It looks like they're in two different political parties. Nana Kufuor, BBC everyone, Peter or Kokeno, or whatever they name. Okay, I'll call it Peter for simplicity. Now, Peter, no, edit Nana Kufuor himself. Yes, Mr. President, your currency is the world in the world. Russia. Nana Kufuor will piano.
Doc. Me patcha yes check your sound no.
Me sound made them check.
Ba me dey me tie. Nti check say okay. Adie no. Article.
Pass, but me and me pass.
And now you try us over 1.5 hours.
Me say equity won, but I mean said this is the first time I mean say standard thing that it's because of me or it's because of the studio. The moment producer and also
it's not because of me. Because me you see she.
If you me ha.
If I tell where the producer and BBI me into no in free her.
Now, I'm forcing Mr.
Maybe I may
say, but more or your money, and I'm not person convince you.
I no kai say nipa chronotia obema a year say what
response and I said yeah because my brepa no me ko and share chance
it's what dear what dear to us so
and come on Peter put no in front of Nana Kufuor. Say, your currency, Mr. President, your currency is the worst after Russia in the whole world. Nana Kufuor, he just accepted it like that. And he moved on. He would take a neighbor 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. Then you ask yourself, so with all these things about how come Ghana's currency is still the worst in the world after Russia? When the economy weak, the fundamentals of your currency would expose you. And now the CD is almost 8 CDs the dollar. Come about me, catch and say, when the fundamentals of the economy is weak, the exchange rate would expose you, Not at that time, the CD was the dollar. I mean, 380 pesos, the dollar. And yet, Dr. Baumia catch and say, when your economy is weak, the fundamentals of the economy is weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Today, CD is almost 8 CDs to the dollar, and he told us today that the fundamentals are so strong. Meanwhile, a BBC report put for the president that his presidency is the weakest the whole world. It's a Russia bet. And apparently, the reason why Russia's currency is weak, or say it's because of the restrictions now, almost the world community, and the two almost because of the war, almost Ukraine war. And the Russian currency is first in the world because of the Russian Ukraine war. Now the whole world at the end that war to almost. Ghana to swear, but the second currency, about the currency,
Ukraine for any Russia into no, into no, or more, Mama, Mr.
President, your economy is doing terribly, and the president with him. Say my economy is not doing terribly. Let us say, Dr. Baumiaka in there, or too much economy is actually doing terribly. And the president so and at the BBC interview, you could say the two are it looks like two are in two different political parties. Now that as you said, the president is out of Nana Akufo-Addo is out of touch with people of Ghana. He really doesn't know what is going on in the country. Nana Akufo-Addo doesn't know that the economy of Ghana is doing terribly. He doesn't know. And this is why he keeps rent private jets. Because he doesn't know that the economy is doing terribly. He only agreed that his currency is the worst in the world after Russia. That's what he agreed. But he didn't agree that Ghana's economy is doing terribly on the ground. See, so you see the type of people that are running the country. They have no idea what is going on in the country. Nana Akufo-Addo on C4 and share their effort to money. That is why he will rent a jet $15,000 an hour. Then they him. And during the interview, after people had given him examples that the price of goods, foodstuffs are going up, the price of truck property and transportation going high, the address of people going on strike and all that. Now, the president to say doesn't see how he should come and invest Ghana. And another to ask the interviewer of that no question said, where did he go and invest? And you see, when Nana Akufo-Addo said, he said interview and said, where did he invest? And then he started saying, between the COVID and the Russian war, have hit the war has hit Togo, the war has hit Burkina Faso, and then he was giving examples of countries that also go through problems because of COVID and the war. That tells you that you have given up. Master, if somebody is telling you that you have a problem, and you accept that you have a problem, but rather go mention other people who also have the same problem, it means you have given up. You aren't looking for solutions to your problem because That is the mindset of the countries are suffering. So if Ghana is also suffering, we like nobody control. Everyone.
Let's just say, anyone. Doc, spread the enra. Doc, me patch on me bow. Doc, still adiano chuchasisi my ye. And yes, sir, the other can be a son a bay. Intino. And then I won't rejoin to say the enra away and because on say when a man call off into who rejoin a bay easy to send radian. Into call off and rejoin. Nti etiefo mefa akonya we so akai adofo ene etiefo nyina say eye mebra osan ye me guest oye NDC member of communication ma Austria eye ne maame adane bunkum so ne maame daaya wan sorry nti aye no 27th 28th 29th eye next month May 2020 nti no Mame Cecilia Lajet Pabite minim si ebesere me wanya mfie onya mfie 89 nyame asira ne papa inti na we keeping ye Friday aye 27th May ewo abrochi agomanya ewo Eastern region Anna barrier no see Saturday 28th May what Presbyterian cemetery hona ye be fan crabre Anna after barrier gathering at old Macrosec campus Oduma Sekrobo Eastern region Anna Thanksgiving service so ye Sunday 29th 29th May 2022 Zimana eno no yesi a German word nti mo fancheme Presby Church Oduma Sekrobo afe widowa eso ye Christopher Tei Pabite ana ne ma ebine Richard Pabite Jonathan Tei Pabite ana Benjamin Tei Pabite manokrafum ana Joseph na Pabite ana Elizabeth Natei Pabite Anna Rosina Pabite intino ne nananom 14 Anna yesi yemfa John 11:25 to 26 Emma adofo na obia is can saying invited edru honoma na eja adofo makwa bua omo aye omo mwana omakra omo maami echi pra nti doc me pacho baby a usi ye no wo be sha ase afiwa ama
na se say the and I say but I still hear the okay but I still hear the echo
se say the pa
all right enti na me ka said the papa no say Peter the BBC Focus na or interview Nana Akufo-Addo na o ka say onu obobo no ma bia ekoso Ghana e na o ka kire Nana Akufo-Addo say onu dream say Ghana enye place Ghana nye bia e wo say oba na oba investment ho e na Nana Akufo-Addo she said the echo no so I think say it's getting better
anyhow sir
yeah enti Nana Akufo-Addo bisa ne say na hefa na obekwa invest obi a wo ye interview no obi interview at the question about na afi na also wo throw the question back to the interviewer and Nana Akufo-Addo no answer ho no say Britain e hwa na Nana Akufo-Addo started say Obobo countries are almost similar problems because of, according to him, no COVID-19 and the Russian Ukraine war. And na me ka say because Nana Akufo-Addo ebubo other countries edin kire say almost so problems no means say Nana Akufo-Addo will give up on the fight to recover Ghana from these problems now you have no. Because and I mean example say who obi catcher say who a problem and to not deal with that problem. Na say who catcher nipa say oh na say minia kwakusu the same problem minia ya so the same problem me of say Thomas so the same problem na wo gia to mu say problem no problem obi a wo bi enti say wo so wo bi a enya hwe untimi solve say wo of say Thomas so our problem our solution and kwa solve ne de no ya de na problem na me wono say minua ya our solution and kwa solve ne de no minua ya say our solution and kwa solve ne de no enti ya Thomas any yaw any minua nom nyina what the same problem na me so more the same problem no solution ni ho enti se atimu amumi entra mu saa ti say time COVID by no COVID by near solution ni ho vaccine bi ni ho enti obiam hwese de obeya obebo no ban. And then finally there was this vaccine. Enti Nana Akufo-Addo can say there will be vaccine for the problems that is going on in the country, because the whole world is having the same problem. And he is looking forward to a vaccine. He's looking forward to the IMF. He's looking forward to the World Bank to prescribe a medicine for the problems that is going on in the world, because he keeps saying, the whole world is in the same situation. And Papa no catch and say, so does he think there isn't any problem? And I mean any solution? And Nana Akufo-Addo say they have put in place a solution, and the solution is the e-levy. Sa problem na Ghana for ye komuno, ahunchire na Ghana for ye komuno. Nana Akufo-Addo say the member ye ho atoye eye e-levy. Meanwhile, this e-levy is not coming to give us money. The e-levy is coming to take money from us. And it is a me who chemia. Minisika midibedi. Semididi 2016. She said 2020 mididi 2. Semididi 2 2016. She said 2020 mididi 1. And I said, me did 1 2016, and this time they me did every other day. And because of this problem now, me wanna mati me bianesuno. Because me nisika me de better bianedi, and I mean nisika me de be nuad bianedi no mati me bianeso. Na mati me bianesuno. Oh, ba the catch him say. The solution to that problem now, I'm a team median son say, over the disc female. Nescali me will be a committee median so. Sikano me will be a Anka 2016 me did it 3 times no, Anka 2022 me did it 2 times. Do you see the mentality of these people? And Papa no catch and say, na say e-levy ukwako Jessica every improvised people to say omo ahia wo mo ena Nana Akufo-Addo catch them say they are not impoverished. In that case omo nya ahia for. Let us say Nana Akufo-Addo na dwini mu no e-levy na abano ama ahiafo enya ahiafo na ebeti omo tax ana say enya ahiafo na odi levy no ebeto omo so or the betu esikafo so Anything I work from, say it is an industry. Enti IMMA-ADIZA say, "Oh, mama, ehia sika." Ti say, "Oh, nua baby, kwaye wedding." Now here, oh, mama say, "Brenu 200 Ghana." Now on famua, unia na kwaye wedding na. Be every say, what menya 200 CDs. Akoma mama so on famua, oh, mama, not unia no wedding no. Or betil 1.5%. Na enuntia or betil says Gano, Nana Kufuadu, who say, Unye Hieni. If you say, what mean 200 Ghana, I could Buaunia, the wedding. And he called that an industry. And Nana Kufuadu, dear, or no thing say, ye levy no, and now or more ye levy no, or more yankophobia, or more factories. Or more stores I can see, or more shops I can see, or more your friends and car mechanics, or more car mechanic shops I can see, or more cars. You know, people who are rich, and or more better, so you know, and I'm sure that is the idea they've sold to him. Or more or money no, sir, no, and or more catch them. Say, Papa, ye levy no, as for and the potassium. You see why when ye Dr. Baumia a free ye levy debate no. Because Baumiano dear any Edwin say ye levy no a year 777 and ya for and or more ye levy no. And ti a nisse a babia bar or taxi or more. But Nana Kufuadu, any Slausu, any or more thinking like him, no. Omu say ye levy no, bibia, industry bia. Was say, Omukom, na Omukotiska, free the rich people now. Omuye momo no. That is the issue at stake. Enti Nana Kufuadu onim omuwo momo business no mo yes adwuma no onim how they are suffering onim nanka Peter the BBC Focus interview ano ebisan say your economy is doing terribly no Okachen say it is not true because there is a levy industry that has people, rich people, involved in it. And for that matter, he thinks it is a good idea to go and levy them. And ye levy, yem pass ye krano. The Rose Minister, eko cha rotos mu. Na since Papa nu cha rotos mu, I think that November was no, I think January. January to this month, April. Yenji roto bia. And obia so enka ho asem. Enti say for 3 months kra na yenji roto no. Enti Nana Kufuadu onim say yenji roto bia wo Ghana. Nana Kufuadu onim. And a deben waka tell what I say. Deben waka tell what I say the road minister. Deben waka tell no. And a finance minister no. Also onim said there was some money coming from the road ministry now. A year a year toll. And for that matter, there is no money coming from there anymore. And he has to tell the president. And so who is running the country? Who is actually running the country? There is a e-levy bill that was presented to Parliament. The bill has not passed. And then the road minister quickly suspends the collection of road tolls. January, February, March, April. For 4 months now, Yendi Roto in Ghana. And ya Accra Nkwao in Ghana. And the president is telling us he doesn't know. The finance minister is telling us he doesn't know. And if the finance minister doesn't know, and if the finance minister knows, has he told the president about it? Say, Mr. President, for 4 months now, we haven't received any income from the tolls. On Timing country, no. We see how dangerous it is to have a family and friends government. Because Kenoforiata, any growth minister, I've forgotten his name. In other words, with the crowd and your friends, these are family members of the president. And the country is losing so much money and nobody cares about it. And then you hear Dr. Baumia going to stand somewhere and joking. What is this? And they said, it seems like we don't have leadership in the country. Something is going wrong in the country and nobody, including the president, seem not to know. For 4 months, no tolls have hit the revenue. The revenue line at the finance ministry. And the finance minister is pretending like he doesn't know. Now, the president, again, when the conversation was going on, Peter introduced one expert, Emma Nana Akufo-Addo. His name is John Kwache. And now, the president no say, John Kwache no say, why research? Enti Nkrofo a tax, the ratio of Nkrofo a tax, any revenue is between 12 and 13%. But this John Kwache, research work, and who say he has a solution a bit me bringing the ratio between around 20%, from 13% to 20%, which is a 7% increment. And this is a man who is an expert. Nanaduma Oya ni say obey such researches and then comes up with solutions for governments all over the world to use. Fortunately for us, he is a Ghanaian, and so he's in Accra or he's in Ghana. And Peter has freely introduced this John Kwache to Nana Akufo-Addo. Say he is an expert. Tap into his knowledge, tap into his resources. Now, listen to what Nana Akufo-Addo told him. Nana Akufo-Addo told Peter, say, that man, the research, any opinion, the buyer, that is his opinion. And that there are other experts in the government. IMMA-ADIZA, as soon as Nana Akufo-Addo gave that answer, say Ghana is dead. Right there, so who said Ghana and Nana Akufo-Addo? Because Nana Akufo-Addo is looking for experts in his government to help him run the country. And who are these experts that Nana Akufo-Addo is talking about? Is it Dr. Baumia? Is it Kenoforiata? And I said, is it a senior minister? Osaf Mafo? Are these the experts that Akufo-Addo is talking about? And Nana Akufo-Addo is not even ready and prepared to work with experts who are independent-minded. And if you are a government, if you are the president, And you don't want to work with experts who are independent minded to give you the better advice, to give you the better course of action, but you would rely on the experts in your government who will tell you what you want to hear, then the country is doomed. That is where we are right now. And that is why Ghana is not moving forward. That is why Peter was able to tell Nana Akufo-Addo to say, your economy is going terribly. And that is why Peter was able to tell Nana Akufo-Addo to say, your currency is the worst in the world after Russia. Because Nana Akufo-Addo is not ready and prepared to talk to experts who are independent minded. He wants to talk to experts who are in his government and who will tell him what he wants to hear. And that is why Ghana is doomed. And if you are still supporting such a government, now we're doing Juma. Because there is nobody in this Nana Akufo-Addo's government and Juma. I can tell you on authority. If you listen to what they are saying, and if you listen to what they are doing, you could see, say, if Nana Akufo-Addo can get a bigger platform like BBC Focus, and he can tell the whole world that he doesn't need any expert who is independent minded, but he would only work with experts in his government, because this expert who has an independent mind was forming his opinion, then you can see say Nana Akufo-Addo not doing Juma. The people in his government will be doing Juma. And that is why Ghana is where we are right now. Nothing is moving on. Nothing is going on. Everything is at a standstill. That is where we are. And Peter Ekatere Nana Akufo-Addo said, Nana President, what went wrong? Because Ghana used to be the rising star of Africa when it comes to economic development, when it comes to growth. Ghana was a rising star in Africa. What went wrong? And Nana Akufo-Addo told him nothing went wrong. Meanwhile, Nana Akufo-Addo, what can't the papa say? Everything went wrong because of COVID-19. You told this man, say everything went wrong because of the Russian-Ukraine war. And when the man is giving you opportunity to redeem yourself after he has told you your economy is going terribly and your currency is the worst in the world after Russia, he gave you the opportunity to redeem yourself, to tell the people why your country or why Ghana was a rising star, but now Ghana is not a rising star, and because of this and this and this and this and these reasons, you are telling the man that nothing went wrong. Meanwhile, before this question came up, now what country Papa said everything went wrong because of COVID-19 and the Russian-Ukraine war. And then you cited countries that are facing the same challenges. You cited Nigeria, Togo, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, and all the countries you can name them. And now you are given opportunity to redeem yourself. Tell the people of the world why can't the Ghana that you are president of used to be a rising star, and now it is no more. And then you tell the person that nothing has gone wrong. Nothing has gone wrong. Let us say, when Nana Akufo-Addo, when he is a one tray at the man say Uncle Kind, now the no Quatran say, who be said Bisana Samoa, or Nibionka. He is always being coached. He is always being written to. And they always write for him. And any time he is independent of himself and he has to answer questions, you see him fumbling. And that is why I would recommend and I would encourage that the constitution should be changed so that unya age you don't go close to become president. Because I personally think, say, old age has caught up with the president. His mind is not working anymore. And I'm not lying. They can go and check his brains. They will see that it is not functioning anymore. People around him are educated for him. People around him are educated to him. Nana, let's president, Mr. President, let's do this. Mr. President, let's do that. Mr. President, this is not good. Mr. President, this is good. This is bad. This is worse. That is all they are doing to him. Because, and yes, sir, and Kanana Kufado on to me and Kodina, the whole world and country, the whole world say he will not work with experts who have independent minds. He will only work with experts who are in his government, who would tell him what he wants to hear. And that is why Ghana is stuck at where it is right now. And to sum up all of it, Nana Akufo-Addo, in summing up the interview, told Peter, the BBC Focus interview, and he said his statements were provocative. Really? What was provocative about the questions now, Obisa? What was provocative? What was provocative about the questions, Obisa? And today I wrote a small write-up. Me see, if Nana Akufo-Addo said the statements made by that Peter was provocative, but all the questions were fact-based. And then Nana Akufo-Addo no opesa o chire yensen. You see, Nana Akufo-Addo, maybe he was misled again. He was told that Peter man was going to be friendly to him. He was going to be nice to him. He would ask him questions that are not difficult to answer. And the questions no basano. It took Nana Akufo-Addo by surprise. Say, why would you tell me, say, my economy is not doing well? Why would you tell me my economy is doing terribly? Why would you tell me, say, my currency is worse after Russia? And then tell me, say, my currency is better than Russia because of the Russian-Ukrainian war now, or more kono. Why would you tell me that? Why would you tell me, sir, you wouldn't even invest in my... Why would you tell me, sir, in Crofona, me meaning somewhere industry, me call levy or more so that I can make money into my country. You are telling me, sir, they are improvised. Why would you tell me that? Why would you give me a name of an individual in Ghana that you call an expert? Tell me that I should talk to him or I should talk to people like him because they say research and then they come up with solutions. Why would you tell me that? When I already have experts in my government who tell me what I want to hear. And with all this coming together, Nana Akufo-Addo thought say the questions were provocative. And he has to one way or accuse the man, the interviewer, of being provocative, of answering, asking him provocative questions. Do you see where Ghana has become now? And time when Nana Akufo-Addo said the man was asking and making statements that are provocative, you could see the emotions. You could see, sir, Nana Akufo-Addo has become emotional, has become angry. And that should tell you, sir, Nana Akufo-Addo is not a leader. It's not born to be president. Nana Akufo-Addo, of Ghana, and that is why he's struggling. That is why he's struggling to run the country. Dr. Bawumia was telling all the good things they have done since 2017, and yet Ghana is worse in the world except for Russia. Not Dr. Bawumia can all the good interventions almost over 100 your friends, over 100 industries or factories, and yet the economy of Ghana is going terribly. Dr. Bawumia has gone to speak all the English he can speak, and there's no denying the fact that today a gallon of petrol is costing 50 cedis a gallon. Dr. Bawumia can speak all the language he can speak of. There is no denying of the fact that Ghana's inflation rate is now at 15.7 to 16%. There is no denying of the fact that today.
Doc, mede asam kakra to matiefo anim. Etiefo mesramo sa we no mekoshe no favorite. Inti na entimi amba public no. Inti mede me adalai aye ni ye inti ma rectify inti mi gusu a me yese obia ebenya biahwe. Inti no omo frefre me chat me o backdoor no me koye no favorite enye public. Inti na ami aso a ohun inti mesa re share bibia foforo. Inti me da masisesi ana mehunu say a favorite instead of public. Inti me da mase me we ni sesi anu matimi ajoin. If I to asoma
Minina so.
We ma try so.
Oh, min kosumum.
We ma try marry.
Okay. Hey, and you're smart.
Say.
Unti say Dr. Bawumia.
Dr. Bawumia ne na kufuado di omusu ban pe.
Unti Dr. Bawumia can say all that he wants to say. And I said he could say all that he said today, but the dollar to the cedi is almost 8 cedis to the dollar. And Dr. Bawumia was the guy who told us, if the fundamentals of your economy is weaker, the exchange rate will expose you. And like I said, no, at the time he was making that statement, no, the cedi was 3 cedis, 80 pesos to the dollar. And he told us that the economic fundamentals were weak. And the IMMA-ADIZA, this is in brief what happened or what took place when Nana Akufo-Addo presented himself for the interview at BBC Focus and what came out of it. And the gist of it of Ninani said, one, Ghana's economy is not doing well, which Dr. President Akufo-Addo disagreed, and that tells everybody that because of that he's out of touch with the people. When Peter Not told him that his currency is worse after Russia, and gave him the reasons why Russia they are worse in the world, you know, and Ghana is next to Russia in the world of currency being worse, you know. Nana Akufo-Addo didn't challenge him, or maybe he couldn't challenge him because Appiah and Nana Akufo-Addo are aware of that, but because of propaganda and politics, Omuma Ghana fonte. But me, I will keep saying it until the Ghana's currency becomes any better. Now, the man told him that he wouldn't invest in Ghana and told him all the reasons why he would not invest in Ghana. And that was when Nana Akufo-Addo gave up Kachen said Togo is also having the same problem. Ivory Coast is also having the same problem. Nigeria is also having the same problem. And if all these countries are having the same problem, why do you blame me alone?
Na just a year, the end a normal. San or person today.
Normal. Obiang Munti na onkoda.
Yan funny, sir.
Yan funny, sir. Solution be anyhow. If there is a solution, and Nigeria for any solution. If there is a solution, and Togo for any solution. If there is a solution, and Burkina Faso for any solution. And Ghana, ye can say, IMF for come up with a vaccine. Or the Bible inject countries, no, so that the countries can start to recover. Don't forget that IMF Ghana $2 billion. IMF Ghana $100 million. Nina omwe discount. The Bank of Ghana for my 20 million, yes, 20 million Ghana cedis. Nina omwe. Ena omusa papa Nana Akufo-Addo catch papa ni say the solution to the problems I have in Ghana is e-levy. And that e-levy is an industry where rich people are involved in it. And that is why they have sidelined Dr. Bawumia in the e-levy debate, because Dr. Bawumia doesn't think say e-levy is an industry. Dr. Bawumia doesn't think say e-levy is for rich people, for them to be taxed. He thinks that e-levy is for the poor people, and so they should not be taxed. But Nana Akufo-Addo, any Eslausu, the Minister for Communication, they think say e-levy is for the rich people, and so they should be taxed. And when the president presented an expert called John Kwachi to the president for the president to tap into the resources of this John Kwachi, Nana Akufo-Addo told him, say, research findings now what come up to say more tax and the revenue percentage. We want it to be large. We want to expand. So more is better. But now, Ghana is running between 12 and 13%. And this expert has come up say there are these steps that you can take to expand it to 20%. And Nana Akufo-Addo thinks that is his opinion, and he won't take it. And that he, Nana Akufo-Addo, has experts in his government. Those experts, and those experts, can't say more. Nana Akufo-Addo intie. And Nana Akufo-Addo betie. And finally, your friend is saying, Nana Akufo-Addo told the BBC Focus interview, and he said, the questions, the statements, are provocative. Which means a nanko per se interview and a better than any nanko yet like Ghana for Jimmy Phoebe, journalists for Jimmy Phoebe or more opportunity to ask the president a question. Then he come and says, Nana, today you're looking good. Some stupid journalist, Jimmy for Akron 4 journalists. Or more better, Nana, Mr. President, today you are looking good. Mr. President, today your uniform is nice. Mr. President, your African wear is very beautiful.
It's nice.
It's nice. Na or she say, Nana Akufo-Addo say, Peter no better. That was what he was going to say. Until when he presented him with facts-based questions, he was found wanting. He was surprised that man would ask him that question. He was surprised that man would tell him the facts on the ground. I mean, he was surprised that the man knows what is going on in Ghana than even in Britain, where he lives. And no man not to man and Akufo-Addo strikes deben prices of deben up Nana Akufo-Addo was surprised that the man knows all of that. And so he became emotional and got angry. And you could see it in his face.
Angry.
You could see it in his face. Nana Akufo-Addo said, who interviewed us in the Bufua?
Good evening.
Who on your name? Only their own team fancy. And basically, that is what happened. And your mom when you anti me submission earlier, no, at least I've run it down in a summary form, so you would have had the opportunity to listen to me. And I know there are other questions that are coming up, and I will deal with it as they come up.
Okay. No question I sound and I'm say, ma yentimi share. Nti emam na ma adwene akodi baabi kakra nti no munsuo na mefa second question no embra. Second question no ene say etiefo mo de bibi be che me kakra. Aha, after month of 11 no o ko start free BBC die no.
Yeah.
Ana o ka ho asem nti no after month of 11 no is the NDC justified with the court? If you say any na ya ha yenim say court ne de eye Ekufuado court into the ono beka no eno ne bebem Ekufuado efa phone call pe na oka say ha monfa nkwa ha na ye a unanimous 7 chief justice and head no na omode ahyehyɛ so di omope na be ye NDC epesa omode 11 passage no ede court no ye hwa ebeye yi na ebeboa because me mete idea minim senke ka me nkwa akọ omuntum na bibi papa bi antimi fi Nazareth emma
Ma anka Supreme Court no and rule on the quorum in Parliament to make a decision and coming on by adwene. You can make us say inquisitive. But the Supreme Court in its earlier ruling actually said half of the members of Parliament should be able to take a decision for the House. If decision be Parliament be taken, any half of the all members of the parliamentary members the decision is null and void. That is a settled matter with the Supreme Court. Omani rules are. Now, enti dana omobabe pass no, I'll not even say omobe pass. Dana omode he levy no call Parliament no. The date was 29th March 2022. And that was the 78th birthday of Nana Akufo-Addo. And on that day, they had already scheduled Nana Akufo-Addo to come to go and open the flyover at Tamale. They call it interchange. I don't know whether they don't know the difference or not. But it's just a flyover. And yet interchange. To say Kaswa there no. And to say circle there no. And I say Pokwasi there no. Now, because Nana Akufo-Addo was going to open that flyover in Tamale, they invited 7 NDC MPs in that area to join the president in going to commission that flyover. And the MPs agreed that they will go and do the flyover thing. Help the president to commission the flyover. And because that day, it wasn't part of the day's your friends' agenda and an item that they are going to deal with. And the MPs, the NDC MPs, thought say, oh well, let us go because we've been invited to commission a flyover in Tamale and we are part of the people over there, so let's go join them. On their way to Tamale, and I introduce your friend saying the finance minister was in Parliament to introduce the bill called e-levy. And so they have NDC caucus no have to call these 7 MPs to come back to Parliament because the NIE levy is going to be introduced. Do you see? Now, we know, say, MP before they are 137. And okay, the whole Parliament is 275. 275, no? Half of it is 137.5. And you need 137.5 human beings. So to run it up, you run it up to 138. And it is established before, according to the Supreme Court ruling, before Parliament will take or make a decision that will be binding on the people of Ghana, there should be 138 members voting for that motion. Supreme Court now can. Okay. Yenim say MP before 137. And now one independent candidate from Kumawu Eka Human 138. And yenim say MP before 138. And so munina wa parliamentar, they can vote, and whatever decision that they take will be binding on the people of Ghana. But many women say Adwoa Safua is not in the country. So there's no way Adwoa Safua can vote when she is not in the country. They did it before and brought in some impersonator, which I think the Parliament is dealing with it. I don't know where they are on it, and I cannot speak to it. But what I know, they say, Adwoa Safua on 29th March 2022 wasn't in Ghana for her to vote, to make whatever decision they take to be binding on the people of Ghana. And that reduces the membership of MPP from 138 to 137. NDC for who say omu tina omu wo chamber num na se omu ka se omu to aba na se MPP for ni nyina vote na NDC ni ba kokra koka MPP for no ho a the bill is passed. And even though NDC for ya we are to say he left me there, will never support it. No, you never know everybody's mind. And to be on the safer side, NDC MPs, of 137, they all walked out. And the NDC MPs walk out, Ebeka NPP MPs of 137 in the house. And they went and brought the Minister for Chieftaincy Affairs, who is sick, but they have to bring him to Parliament so he can vote in an ambulance. They have to bring the Minister for Chieftaincy Affairs to Parliament in an ambulance so he can vote. But there's, according to the Speaker of Parliament, in the research, they said the man wasn't even in the chambers to vote. Amma Okujetu Ablakwa, I raised that issue with him. But it looks as if the Speaker is going to have his way and allow that if the man was actually in his office or somewhere in Parliament, he can consider him to be, he can consider him to have voted. And I've taken the time to explain, give this background to what happened before the NIE levy was passed. And the NIE levy, MP before MPs, omuye 138 minus Adwoa Safo, 137, and a vote 2 year. And according to the recent Supreme Court ruling, there should be 138 members in Parliament to be able to pass a bill or to approve a motion so it can be binding on the people of Ghana. And this is why NDC has taken the matter of the e-levy back to the Supreme Court for them to interpret, for them to review their interpretation. And as of now, the NT said Supreme Court has even given a date on BTS assembly. So on my date, somebody can let me know. Supreme Court EMMA date as to when they are going to sit and review their own judgment as to whether the e-levy could pass with 137 members, or once the 137 members have passed it, it is declared null and void. And for that matter, it is not binding on any Ghanaian, and for that matter, it is not the law. And that is where we are right now with the e-levy. But I heard said there is mass withdrawal of people taking their money from their Momo wallet and keeping it in their house. And the MPP are scaring them, say, so yes, I know beware usika no free ufia, and then wara. But so far we know say in Crawford yisika every Momo warrant no so akugufie yente se Crawford bi akọ obi fie sika. Enti sa threat and that fear and panic na MPP for EPC create in the economy the facts don't speak to it. And change Supreme Court, the whole Ghana, we are waiting for the Supreme Court to come and tell us the 137 now vote 2 years to pass the e-levy, whether it is legal, whether it is constitutional, or whether it is not constitutional, and for that matter, it is not. But said the fear here is, this is the same Supreme Court who told us some time ago that right now, Ghana's birth certificate cannot be used to identify you as a Ghanaian. This is the same Supreme Court who told us that Ghana's birth certificate cannot be used to identify you as a Ghanaian. The only, and I said, one of the few things that can be used to identify you as a Ghanaian is say, Obia, we no tifie, and as Obia, we no ti impontemuno, or no betimi akudi adansie, ewo baby say, we a Ghanaian. Se or no timi kodi adansie, so ye Ghanaian, dia, and no dear. We are Ghanaian. Assume you say we could Ghana card. Now we need birth. Forget about birth certificate, because Supreme Court said who birth certificate you cannot be identified with it as a Ghanaian. Until what you would do, you say, oh, penny you omuti ufie, and I say omuti umpotamu in your neighborhood. Now when you are more Ghana card office, now or Marco can say ampa we are Ghanaian. And that is acceptable as a form of identification. So again, this is the same Supreme Court who told us that before. This is the Supreme Court who, during the petition election, had accepted, say, Mrs. G. Mensah would mount the witness box for the lead counsel of the NDC to cross-examine her, so that whatever responsibilities and duties be our to declare her results for the presidential elections. The Supreme Court earlier agreed that they will allow Mami Mensah to mount the witness box so the lead counsel would cross-examine her. Now, when it got to the middle of the case, the Supreme Court did not allow Mami Mensah to mount the witness box. Because Mamina wouldn't say 1 year na ye on the head of the electoral commission 1 year na year into what time no akwakosi court Say, oh, in some baku to me no and I do me and some your person will be sano. Na anu ya or de bebano. And a bet say, what's some out the court down a court no. E would mean so and not in so. Sata no through say, Mamma ko jina witness box muna be sano. Na Ghana for ni wiase for nyina hu say, wasem ade ko jina court no. E would so na and in so no. Supreme Court no say, omo mama no enko jina witness box so. Enti ema NDC for asem nyina ka omo anu. Eninti na NDC for binom eda so ka say 2020 elections no dey yan lose. MPP for wiem. Do you understand? Because omo akuma mu ni omo adwene mu no. Sanka Mensa Supreme Court ya ka no asemi se omo pene so Emma Mensa ko gina witness box no. Emma the lead counsel for the NDC e could be said some questions. Ena Supreme Court no ejina so edema judgment anka obviously case die. But they didn't do that. And this is not, I mean, me can't say, this is not a Supreme Court you can trust. And President Mahama Eba America, and say 2 weeks ago, or they can say the judiciary needs a review. And when he comes to power in 2024, he will review the judiciary. And I said, yeah, he will the judiciary will be reviewed. And THN said President Mahama Beba 2025. Not the Owa or the Obeye Ama judiciary no. We're cleaning up the judiciary ama to say nipa papa. And Eddie or minus so when it comes to the interpretation of the law. All the way to the Supreme Court, all the way to the Chief Justice. Yeah, him saying President Mahama Ba obedi sanish in the portion so. Now we're cleaning up the judiciary, we're cleaning up those who interpret the law all the way to the Supreme Court, all the way to the Chief Justice. That is the only way Ghana for ebeda. And as a Ghana for be who say or more ba no, I wouldn't say only way. It will be one of the ways Ghana for Ebeje President John Mahama Adia Tum say or more ba or muto ma John Mahama no former President John Mahama no and as an incoming President John Mahama no or more ba or muto ma no or more no when you are he didn't disappoint them. And we are all looking forward to the date when incoming President John Dramani Mahama will be sworn in as the president of Ghana. And in the first 100 days, we would hear him do certain things. Yebeti say, in fact, Waka through the General Secretary of the NDC said, Oba ye levy in the first 100 days will be trim. If the Supreme Court accepts the levy was legally passed, and so it is the law of the land. Naso almost started so almost the Jehuska. Madi Satisan Kaminu Menu Kasaya Nanko Motiti levy co. Enti say almost started say almost levy now. In January 2025, if President Mahama is sworn in, and in the first 100 days, he will sign an executive order to cancel the collection of the e-levy. That one there, it is a firm promise, NDC Fuama. Ya can't say in the first 100 days when we take power in January 2025, we will cancel the collection of e-levy. Indeed, that is what I have to say. And there will be a super review at the education sector. And when I talk about the education sector, I'm talking specifically for the free senior higher education. We will review it. We will not cancel it. Review is not cancellation. Tibon cost for review is not cancellation. If you say you are going to review, She said, very good. She said, yeah. Obi can say, my voice no enye no. When we said, quickly, we took steps to review it. We didn't cancel it. We took steps to review it. And the steps we took to review, they say, men call out, Nami Sanso and log in, Nami joining and say, do you see? So there was a review. Did we cancel the program? When somebody says,
no,
or can say, or can say, on Timmy, no, you cancel program, no. Say a review now, yeah, no, yeah, make us a camera, will be a TN camera. Did we cancel it? And so because a reviewer, Ghana for Muntiemi, so because a reviewer or Mun say a baby trim, ye bad then ye. She said, yeah, na ye program ya, na obin timinia or ma or the buy na, ye review na, me logo out. I'm a sense of log in na. She say, me nenwa, monteno, moteno. That is the purpose of a review. You review to make things better. You review to make things better. So when we come, we are going to review the education sector, specifically the free senior education. We'll review it. We are going to review the judicial sector services, everybody in the judiciary, from the lowest court all the way to the Supreme Court and to the your friends and Chief Justice. If there is the need, if I am saying it, me Dr. Lawrence Namika, if there will be the need for NDC or for Ghana to change the laws so that the Supreme Court should be 30 years older, you better pass that law. You will change the constitution and make a law that Supreme Court judge should be 30 years and the current Supreme Court judge who is more than 30 years will be sacked. Because we are not going to accept and tolerate any nonsense at the judiciary when President Mahama comes to power. Because there are a lot of people that must go to jail. And we wouldn't want any corrupt judiciary to mess up with us. I am saying it. Sir, there are a lot of people in this current administration, in this who are friends of the president, who are family members of the president. There are a lot of people who would have to go to jail. And we would not want any corrupt judiciary to mess up what we want to do. We want a clean, upright judiciary who would use the law to punish people, not their opinions, not the black dictionary, not that one. We would employ and hire perfect, upright, good judiciary and a good attorney general and a good, smart, no-nonsense, crazy attorney general who would ensure that some members in this government of Nana Akufo-Addo will go to jail. No mercy.
Medasepa ansana yebeto asono Madam for Shafao miami ni abema unim se mi huni ye batime hu se ye wa udino ana Tafu Women's Organizer so shemi for NDC ana Hajia Alima Tusadia eso she NDC France ana Mebra Lewis eso she na Idrisu Osman na Mebra Lewis or say Watro Bibi or say Article 42 of 1992 Constitution states that every citizen of Ghana of 18 years of age or above and of sound mind has the right to vote. On 29th March 2022, the MP for Ahanta West wasn't of sound mind to vote. The MP has been sick and couldn't have voted. It is so bad precedent for our young democracy. Mebra Lewis, your friend is a communication team member and an officer for Holland. Medase pa ewo o contribution ana eden biem nti no se eno ano nti doc ye beko ye last topic no eso eno so essay etie from nka from ma medine dos wo me ama yi no so asen abiti me nti mo fa nche me nti last one ye Nanado travels again after placing ban on all government officials. Are we practicing what we preach? No papa ya ka won fi on say niema na kwaku the traveler ye no ono akasa no onte ase said ye beka na yesesa otu abama na yenim say old age wisdom and knowledge but see the toto Nana Akufo-Addo ase Ghana no onimu bi ase onte Ghana ha and sorte ha ana ote de ekoso a ene ye papa yi wafi nani ondwene Ghana fo ho isa aban bia ni wo odwene ne manfo ho a ensam a ya wakeka ne de oye no ase oye so selfish oye hypocritical too much fi say ye passing e-levy ya washa si etu kwan efi say me ankasa na okọ we no a okọ yusu ye kan say Emirates for flight e de call ye no Dubai no mi hu say o da yen efi say no a onim say 8 years we twa wie but so legacy obi a wo ho na abakwasem ehu hia no a eba ne say ye tro history a o person ne din wo mu a ebi say ye wa ha danko abuzi omudin wo history mu but omudin no omo live to expectations sa eno ane sa wo ba ye ya wo force de omo history abetwa ntro de ahye ye kon na so enemrem Ghana de ye wone ma bebre a se utwa ntro a wo to beda ho iti papa yi is either said ya meka ye no ne memory no I say oni presence Ghana or this ye present if he is living in the presenter can you maybe o wa ankamini ni se obeye iti mu a mu feed no mu feed ni ye fi say ahwe ya mi hu ne se papa we ebe kakra no obey yet to say ye fene say Adolf Hitler ukọ Germany ye dinim ye no ye fan to nipa akoya abomination no ebe kakra obi de Akufo-Addo a ahwe akiri ma ne kra anto ne din na onsan hunu say ne papa mo time no enye ye time de things are being record intini ye recording ye ma de agu ho ebi wo Facebook ebi wo baby bebra yen soma yen soma obia nti papa no de otu ne fo ne ma wo ho a eye mo na mo ye nabusuani o ebe ka mo nti no jakoro mane mo ho nkeka ho muntu papa fo na de oye ne de ne din bayira ewo history ebukum nti doc fire corner yen to aso
yeah IMMA-ADIZA medase won say Nana Akufo-Addo minim se obi a wotie me no se owo company a obe high Nana Akufo-Addo as the managing director na because papa no on can I mean Honorable Isaac Adongo from Sakawa Boys Emma President John Dramani Mahama retreat here and on Nana Akufo-Addo making a big deal okofre enkrofo asofo about Jubilee House for editor when him say I didn't know why when somebody is calling his tribe as Sakawa Boys. On said before this your friend is saying you let you know even before it was introduced. Now, Akufo-Addo rented private jet for 14 to 15,000 an hour at the Kobari Biaro person. Emma Ghana for kanye was one feet. On Tio Bia. The why not been so obey no, and one obey. Emma or rented private jet about 5 times after Ghana for Edio Moa to Moa can. And a ye levy could pay more parliament. And the levy no could pay more parliament no. A dear bar kwa na Ghana for air share. Send an Akufo-Addo beye and obeka chiromo. And he said, I won't would ya yet dear. And now Ubesan so a pet. Ubesan so to 2 bottom. Aji levy. Enti na omo pese Nana Akufo-Addo ebeye accounting. Emo mu se okay sikana ye die no ye de ayi we ye de aye ABCDE. And Nana Akufo-Addo went me anyesa. So the only thing I obey me aye ni say afi de Appiah flight na private jet na odi tu kwan no obi jaye. Appiah ojaya Ghana for ebe Guinea say, oh, okay. She said the president no, the kind were tea. Enti private jet no crana or fan. She say one February. Enti bia yen Samsung consider what we will do with the ye levy. Enti omunya sajune no. This government nya sajune no. The next flight na Nana Akufo-Addo go Dubai to do some tourism thing be Dubai no. He went with the your friends of commercial flight Emirates. And what they call Dubai. And what they buy. And or call Dubai or far private and commercial flight no call Dubai. This also buy no. A move jokakra the debate no. Senate Parliament no mon can wasem. Akwese wu, akwese daho, akwese benyane. You know, people were just discussing it in the different fashion. And now, on the 29th of March 2022, on Nana Akufo-Addo's birthday, the MPP found a way to pass the e-levy. Oh, kasa ni nyemu. Tama omoko commission the flyover at Tamalino.
Sir.
Nana Akufo-Addo invited 7 of the NDC MPs to join him to commission that flyover. No? Not the Minister of Transportation, whose ministry is undertaking this whole project, was in Parliament. Can you believe that?
Namimbi sawa sem kakra. NDC MPs na ye invite no omukoye no. Na omunim se Parliament was sitting that day and one question. Because omunimodia adentinana it was so important for them to be there and not the transport minister. It's a banisa, not just the NDC MPs no, they were not smart enough. Because omunima they shouldn't have go in so omunima any question komoko. Unim se Parliament was sitting president so it's the antina also oko. Just say hono almost so anye smart.
Dabi Madisa me church remove one tiasie. And I'm not no not one tiasie. That yes I want tiasie be ana wa adwene ni ho. Me say what I
ma adwene wo ho na me who say e was say ankom yes.
Dabi number 1 okay number 1 me answer your questions. Number 1 no menim say Parliament e betena se.
Inti no enu tie de na omokoye.
Neighbor no omunim say Parliament betena se. Nemom de na omunim ni say omu di levy ever be to board so omu be vote on it. NDC MPs no winning say parliament ever classic. That one it was clear because parliament can't say they were going for recess, and as a parliament can't say they were postponing sitting that day. In China, not every parliamentarian knew say parliament will be sitting that day, but not there not omunim any say ye levy will be introduced to the chamber for a decision to be made on it. And in America say on their way to Tamalino, ye levy no eba the leadership of the parliamentarians, NDC parliamentarians, have to quickly call them for them to turn and come back to Accra. But the American say because they're not MP before, they're not more Yenuntino. Even the minister for roads, whose ministry was overseeing all these things, was in parliament that morning. And the NDC MPs not Roads minister was in parliament, ready to vote on the e-levy. And America say MP before said the ABA for say kind say MPP ni especially Dr. Baumia Chiawu or Chiawu good morning. Look at the position of the sun before you respond. Because Obechiawu good morning Obechiawu na abobe say a year 2 o'clock. And you so what just good morning. Let us say why you city and your morning, a afternoon. Enti Nana Kufuado. Okay, so to clear that, the 7 NDC MPs who were invited to join the president to commission the flyover in Tamale knew Parliament was sitting that day, but they didn't know, sir, the levy will be introduced in Parliament that day. Amakwanta, who is the minister for roads, knew that he levy will be introduced to Parliament on that day, so he didn't go to Tamale. He was in Parliament to make sure, sir, his vote is counted and that he levy passes. So that should answer that question right there.
Anna, yes, still NDC for a honor. Omanya smart enough. One. Secondly, enye president na oho. Ewo musa omo na ye MP. Ewo hono mododwa na de fly over no. Na ye Hifa Pacific. Anana omo eye sa ye fene saying. Omo ABA. Eno ye one. Ewo someone who say sankrofo we. Omo ye trickish. Omo ye 419. Omo ye azan. And Oma try ways and means. Itiawano, Temale NP, NDC MP, I was the truth should be told. When ya dia yebe dada, Oma na yebe Oma yen rehaim maya pasi adiene gu. Adeno, and say they should have been extra smart because deal ebina wa can say alaji ABA puteni say. Some people need chiawa. You look at the weather before you respond. With them, anything can happen. You cannot defend them. They were not smart enough. Because the Ametia say so and dear no waba and no dear fine. No wako. Na say a president I want your president. President all find ways and means. Be our Ghana, dear will prevent it. Wouldn't say Parliament say wo ye invite to cry one kwa a casa and one of constituents casa so one man because of this because I could find ye man a little chance it's in a honor and yet justifiable. NDC MPs from the north they were not smart enough period. Because who be Sammy Asana make
Madisa. What was a Kromania free BB a Monday morning quarterback. Now Monday morning quarterback, Monday I more Bobby or Mubo. Ghana a friend no soccer or Ghana no or more friend a friend saying football. And at the FNO.
The other way round. The IFN football, no. America, almost friend soccer.
Soccer, And no more football. No more football, no. The your friend say, or more keeper, no. Your friend no quarterback. Well, and now ball no every Sunday. Well, and it's ball no Sunday no vie. Na team no lose. Afe Drada and no because sometimes ball no late into the night on Sunday. Until after the Sunday no, obi antimi nka wo hwe. Until Monday morning no, kwa adwuma mu a and afi be discuss all the all what went wrong with the team, including the quarterback. Until you from sad discussions Monday morning quarterback. That is, you discuss the events after the fact. As next year no and who force a woman and no be na no. But you see, Mamin Chiro, the truth of the matter is NDC4 has relied on the Supreme Court ruling. Say only 138 members of parliament can make a decision in parliament that will be binding on the people of Ghana. That is one. Say, no, mistake there, I cannot tell. But they have relied on that ruling. So only 138 members of parliament can pass a bill in parliament that will be binding on the people of Ghana. Now, NDC4 nim say, Honorable Sarah Adjua is not in the country. Until Adjua comes back to Ghana, no, NPP can never have 138 members. And for that matter, they can never present e-levy to Parliament for discussion on it. Do you understand?
Because there were more questions. And then they say, then a speaker, I can't say, who is against, say I, say no, or say they know they yes have it. It's in a honor so speaker no, who say as on the MPP for because on no soon himself just have nivo. It's a then on also so echo I was saying bogu because here I hear any TV sonom. You wanna say chairman Sabonsu a prompted speaker say they are still in the chamber, yes. Or prompted no said they are still in the chamber. It's no somewhere no na speaker any say even whether they are in chamber or not no when mo a stage workout or mo ko do mo fee it's a man ka so dede wa ha but later no why they also ye it's a banisa net as a speaker no ne Ghana for so any ni
IMMA-ADIZA another your friend saying another thing of parliament ni say speaker no cannot determine how many members are in parliament.
And no dear me no one agony if he say and chayo just 4 years ago. Me pacho meba Speaker of Parliament Michael Quay. Yen I no on when him say on numbers no on when him say some NDC for can womb. But to me be an anoka sama come fa. Now then Sabio honorable speaker Babendi or no or software na empono ne software no enkoye.
IMMA-ADIZA, if that is the route I will call the amino yajene.
Yeah, because I was so say the bidding of Ghanaians. He has the right to say also Appiah you know and who say NDC members prano about parliament no yaya be more absent. It's in the speaker no so also one the findings ye one with the amateur Appiah no obia da no waja nani baako because dealing with MPP no and yes so da no wakata wani woni MPP ni da wa was so we was kind ready knowing this current NPP who da wa na wa bie wani baako because they can pull a surprise at any time. It's a one I was so we extra smart It's NDC for any time be on extra smart on their game, no my BT almost to 8. But almost funny amatra they lose. And this one almost lose a lost way there. A big blow. Big one Paka the whole Ghana.
Yeah.
And when I believe said they didn't up their game.
Yeah. Me know you are doing in 100%. Line of argument now you know. You see, Speaker back then, you know, for some strange reason, you know, he wants to remain very neutral to the proceedings in Parliament. For some strange reason.
And then when it's concerned ordinary Ghanaian.
I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for him and I can't speak against him.
Oh, and I know the best to me, I can't what the one
and I make
a selfish decision to take it.
Now,
where you can't
Madisa, Tio. Say if Speaker Bagben is even being a speaker for Ghanaians, anka or no a preside ye, Emma or more rejected budget, no. O two kwanya or say we should be preside ye, ma or more pass a budget, no. Say if he is trying to be a speaker for the people of Ghana, he should have come to reverse the Omoye, you know. Because me as the speaker, no, mean to me and presiding over Parliament, for Parliament to reject the budget, and then as soon as I travel out of the country, my deputy comes to sit in and then reverses what I have authorized, and then undo what I did, and then you pass the budget. And when Speaker Badin came, some of us were thinking said he was going to revise what Joe Osewusu did. But he came and gave about 2 hours lecture, which didn't do anything to help the cause. Do you understand? He came back, gave 2 hours of lecture. That didn't solve any problem. And to say no, Joe Mensah Joe Osewusu is there trying to make sure say anytime Speaker Badmin leaves, then he comes to sit down and cause confusion in the Parliament, and for that matter, cause confusion in the country. Do you understand? And the whole country, Speaker Badmin should begin to act like he came from a party, just like Michael Quay was doing. Do you understand?
Yes.
I mean, if he isn't and I wasn't a member of Parliament before he became Speaker, Quay, what's the name of the guy? Quay, what's the former Speaker? The friend is saying Michael Quay. Michael Quay wasn't also an MP. He was just called in to become the Speaker. Well, but he did everything like an MPP. You can't take that away from him. Do you see? He did everything like. I mean, there were times that proceedings now. Some of the proceedings they do in Parliament. It is somebody who has to alert the Speaker that they don't form a quorum for them to take a decision in the House. Do you understand? And if at the time of more passing 11, so beyond sorry can say the people there are not up to the quorum, the Speaker will just let it pass. Well, but in Michael Quay's term, even when Muntaka was telling him several times on several occasions that they don't form the quorum for them to take a decision on the loan or on something, he would just let it go. He would not mind him cry or yet to say that as well as
STA, yes.
Or yet to say he belongs to the party that is trying to pass the loan. Or yet to say he belongs to the party that wants to pass the bill, regardless of whatever.
Michael Okwe, no. Me patro Michael Okwe seen or no na senior.
Yeah.
Former Domi Kwabenya MP into also why MP da. Former speaker no why MP da.
Yeah, but me say at
the
time
rules minina.
Me say at the time he was.
But ono de my ye cry ye wa from no ehunu say ono wa mase oba be the bidding of Ghanaians.
Yes.
Oba say oba be the bidding of MPP.
Yes.
But ye chere say e was a speaker man be NDC or MPP. Yet yasiye. But on be bidding of ordinary Ghanaians, the masses ye sofano. On be the bidding of yen enye obia and dia wono no the steps no take ye no ade a chen ye no ya pass it one who send ye money illegal he should have turned things around like where ye no but while letting it pass emma kwakuado ado showboy ado gaga ado 419 ado sakawa akotche ne pet tente kra sign it oh not as a 2 minute hour no. Oh my own so to me.
I mean, speaker back then. Ne normal be there. Me see.
Yes, I didn't dear. Nipana ya dear na say. For all you know, ebi krana. Onim said your ye na ebony. Also obi oya said your chasano. Onim said na chia. Iti beti mi abasa onim say ebony because ono babe no na create sa majority group, minority group. Emma uncle Kwesi Pratt. I can't say ye majority ni minority. Because you know, your friends are independent, you know. Ono na ye second deputy speaker. Into ono krano only da brebia or kotena only say how you know ye bibia and also then a support bed ebe kwa kota ye chiri. Ba wo ba ye no for brofu bia ukosua ni school say university. Enti no ba ye no majority group minority group no full so yeah enti no say honorable speaker Baben say wo tie na wo hwe na later wo be hwe a yesra ye Ghana for bidden na MPP for we no omunye obi a wo be ye omade a ombebu o hwe the way om handle wo ma wani bri ye no say o master tibu enti no so ye om bidden na last minute om de wani ebe ye from chomo say wo ye be ma wo ye srem jata na de wo ye ne de ye hunu so saa because wo na we disappoint yen enye NDC MP enye MPP for eye speaker wo na we disappoint yen because ade a chi ye na hunu say ebi mo kra absent abema you should have cancel everything you have the right aden na wonye kwaku aduti we di ope na oye nti so ye de o pa na eden Supreme Court di omo pe na omo ye it also you sue to me ni kakra na eden anani to me no onim to me a okita na omo mani amaya ya
or catch the parliamentarians in front of or number 3 and definitely he knows to me our just say
and your own you suma check
for some strange reason you know I think say and anything simple what forwarded 3 names to the disciplinary committee muntakane na kono because
I know dear and shadanya important. What was important and they say he levy shouldn't have passed on reverse it because nani pani bini ho and none also di hujuma na the omode koi wo de dome kwa benyane we mu kwa ade na waye unye hu ade no de ehia no
say na me kan intina muntaka ni no kono because muntaka pese wo kire ni say oye show keke enye bibia because me sure say all these places no what they omo akono omo nyina ye MPP strongholds omo by elections kwa the MPP will still come back anyway
yes intino
Kennedy Japan we one bit me to Nefiasin Central
and every asin
and address afo na yin where what will happen and sa Greater Accra Regional Minister so asa aya was central and or strong or MPP stronghold you know and you know that because people are getting to be frustrated with the way our running parliament. I mean, especially MPP and NDC MPs. NDC MPs are MPP.
Ebiana on thing, Ebisuana onim. It's in our see a man who said the ecosono.
Because
and Shadan
IMMA-ADIZA. I mean, I think, say, from the way Michael Quinn Senior ran it, me assure say he was in communication with his party. Until the party would tell him what he should go there and do. But I don't think, say, it is the same as Bagbin and the NDC. I don't think so. Do you understand? Michael Quinn Senior was in constant communication with the party, MPP. Enti of parliament on moi, or no obviously or an agenda no the other tenase. Well, enti nedia wo beka and a ben bibia. Wo kasa nyina na wo ka simple na no from no next speaker or next something. Wo kasa nyina they on fa ho kra. And they were able to go through 4 years of that torture. Do you see? They were able to go through 4 years of that torture. And the media, I mean, Speaker back then, I think said some of the NDC MPs have started getting frustrated over how he is running the parliament. And I think the earlier he begins to do things like he's doing it for the people of Ghana, no, I think it will be better for him, because for now, he's been very horrible. He's been very horrible. I mean, he's talking and lecturing, and at the end of the day, he doesn't take any action. Or I mean, he's on record to have disagreed with the Supreme Court ruling, say 138 people should, form the basis of the quorum. And he's on record to have disagreed that the Supreme Court even is interfering in the activities of the parliament. Do you understand? But I mean, so what has he done about it? You are also a speaker. You are in charge of the legislative in the country. So you have a mouth to talk. I mean, if the Supreme Court can do whatever they want, if the president can do whatever they want, you too can do whatever you want. Do you see? So why have you allowed yourself to be bullied by Oseche Mensah Bonsu and Afenomakin and those stupid people? Why have you allowed yourself to be bullied by them? Do you see? And it's unfortunate that you and I have to talk about Speaker Bagbin at this time. We're even talking about the travels of Nana Akufo-Addo, and then this came in. But you see, and you see, Nana Akufo-Addo, who said Ghana for Kasado, no, and offer Emirates, Echo Dubai, Echo Yedi and then and the full Ghana for say a free no commercial flight in Kwana Mefa. And I Ghana for year Dimano. After the Omudi 11 call parliament now more pass year the first flight out of the country or so a charter private jet. Let us say no catch them for say don't fly, but he is flying all over the place. Do you see? Or no catch them for so cut down on your expenditure. More expenses now, we are no more cutting down 20%, 10%, 30%, whatever percentage. But he is still flying on private jet. Anytime you ask a question, say Nana Akufo, say we are owner of a company. Would you hire Nana Akufo-Addo to be your CEO, the chief executive officer?
And
that is what he is doing to the country. And that is why the BBC Focus interviewer was straightforward, able to tell himself his economy is going terribly. I mean, he told him in his face that, Mr. President, your economy is going terribly. And Osasu Kachen said, your currency is worse after Russia. I mean, what else do you want anybody to tell you as a president?
yɛde Russia compare no just when ya and you na bro pepe oh papa we na adwini chadodo yes when ya enyo no nkwa na ne de enye Russia de enye na ne refi say Russia de no he's under restrictions aha ana wo so de yenye ohwe wo di bronya ho are cracker say Russia and Ukraine sana NPP communicators ayo Ukraine for de na aba ne say eno so si ayenim de beba ebesa akwa Jomama so I believe no because from Jomama to COVID from COVID to FN saying Ukraine Russia even Ukraine kra na yakoto to bomb ase omne man kra the economy is doing good
and say
Russia nia
say no ye levy no and a solution to all problems and if ye levy if ye levy fails now on because Black Stars and Kwaji World Cup in India you know they will definitely and I say as I'm working Uncle Bob Black Stars no bintina economy no you know they will find every excuse and every reason to come and blame somebody but not them. They will find somebody to blame. Yeah, they will find somebody to blame. Blasters and yeah, I mean, it's terrible that we are.
Would this matters arising? No, would this for would one see a neja de ne baumia I am piano or better to what could be a fan.
IMMA-ADIZA, this has been a great show. She said, "Yeah, who can I first you grow into BBN and what to suffer me." Mrs. Me a human being. I'm back to them. Meaning, I won't pay myself, but Neshy, Mefanisa. Now, well, you can't, in fact, we've touched on several things. But we've touched on it. You know, we've touched on the speaker, we've touched on the Supreme Court, we've touched on the executive, we've touched on the interview with BBC Focus by the president, and we've dealt in detail about what the president said and what he meant and everything. You know, but she said, "Yeah, can you say, yeah, per se, oh, you can and now shemia." Oye Ghana ni na wutie mia Nana Akufo-Addo ne Bawumia omuntimi nya bi papa bia ma wo e ma wa brabon sesa bi mo I am me ka kire me den de Dr. Lawrence me ka kire wo say oye Ghana ni na wo hwe me oye Ghana ni na wutie mia emfa ho ne Dr. Bawumia de obeka bia emfa ho ne Nana Akufo-Addo de obeka bia omumienu omuntimi nka omo adwene mom embe ye bibi titiriw bi ema ensesa wa brabo ewo Ghana omo apem omuntimi nya hwe bio de obetimi aya na omo ye wie 2020 no wo bisa wo tie me no bisa ho say 2020 ya 2021 omo ba so ene 2023 de ben pa na omo aya ano omo aka kire say omo ba be ya ugidi so mbetimi aye deben pa na omo aye omo agenda for their second term and any dey ask yourself bisa who dey who tie me who name say who vote to MPP and say who vote to NDC that's fine who does who tie the obetimi a convince you but the me can kire we say Nana Akufo-Addo ne Dr. Bawumia omo second term no there ben na omo dey see omo ani so say omo pese omo ye enye one day say one factory na omo ka ho asem enye one village one dam ya na omo ka ho asem enye free senior education ya na omo ka ho asem enye de omo ye no 2016 to 2020 ne eno na omo ka ho asem eno so omo bu ho akonta ma ye 2020 e ka kire say bibia e koso kama eni tiensan so fa ba no Omani share omunsa na omuntu aso. NDC for kan yeso de and na wo share so and na okoto abama na na kufu adone ba umia and na omde wa wura 2021 mu 2022 ye were 4th month mu bosume toso na nye die be na omo aka kire wo a wodi wani atoso se omo ba be ya boa debe na wodi wani atoso debe na omo aka kire wo omo apem omo adwene asi yodom say ya number na 2024 asanso aba na Dr. Baumia asanso aba kika ni nsem hunu ne nsem fon asanso akere obio na wanya enkrofo de vuvuzela ayi horns no the omde call Vuvuzela horns no South African World Cup na start here and as you say
aba South Africa for edia omo na fresh aben vuvuzela
na omo anya enkrofo bi a omo ato say South African World Cup no omo de MPP for the enkrofo gugu nti omo ba no omo vuvuzela ayi aben bai nti Dr. Baumia koka ni nsem fon ni nsem hunu ni Jimmy sem no a na omo anya sa vuvuzela fo bi akogina baabi na onya ka asem ba akopɛ na pa na omo de yedede asif se papa na ka
eno kra trete omo or try too much and then me ma hwe ni TV ba me tie no radio so ba utie background na it me just the way ana all chim wo ye ne beka say ye 2024 ye election ye election year
the onim ya no the Dr. Baumia nim ya no say no one thing about MPP for say omo person mo project Dr. Baumia o de hwe say Alan na ekokasa nkombe no ombe man sa projection ya on person omo project Dr. Baumia so that he will be their next flag bearer. And the omube to project him. And he say okokasa ombe organize this we see full soldiers well. So
I fully put a soldiers. Foolish soldiers.
Foolish woman. This I never mind terminology back home. May you saw me right up as a foolish soldiers. My mission Obi and 3 Gonda Baras and the Bumi Wahanum. Say my friend foolish soldier. And he said me right up no banami you so foolish soldiers are no soldier for Muti Gonda Baras ne Kabina another Michelle Campno make MPP for foolish soldiers. You know, so they will organize these foolish soldiers and then go and make noise as he speaks. Tell us, dear Obeka Krano, unshada entin ye. Do you understand? Not just or the but NDC for and then Wakasa. And I know said throughout the weekend, no, that is what everybody will be discussing. And media say my busy. In fact, for my business will be up to the end of this month. And I can't come up with any long and I didn't write up because the problem with my write up is I share it on platforms it takes me 1.5 hours to finish. Well, a lot
they say to encrofwa amesi or write ups and a pine to Mr. And now the NNA is also a one farm, me. It will say, Meme Pewasem, wake a hunting a mem Pewasem. One mamma share me was so medical catch or same crofo. Into no, not just all the bypass it, Sadia, and you custom a Pewasem. Into my justify.
The justification with the Pabite Beckham, and I well, my best set. Say Pabite fry your corner next month. Obey who you're
perfect.
Obey who you're
aye.
But
me know you chia hard and
but Obia namne kwan yo, Obia namne kwan.
Na sami mi okumase na so Ukro ni efe ne say. Obi si minimum ka.
Virginia.
Aha.
One way you can. One way you can. Not where the fufro.
Akoya de foforo. Eno na me pese me de ma no beka no. Waka ni ye no nti no. Wo be free ho na aba, me so me free Kumase ana se takra de na akọ.
Me ba be land Ghana 2 or 3 days before the due date. So the bear meet me arrest because Matisse is another long journey to the place. You know, and me ba be land 2-3 days before the year no. And yeah. Ti mami fa kwenya so na mi nkanche ni say me ma no yakọ, you know. Na mi nkanche say ne mami onne yie kwesi say ye be say so ehia biom. You know. But IMMA-ADIZA, me wrap up. No, I think say we have a great show. And so the makano. To say me who said this anytime after April. April they be animate me and so I must be because of my schedule. But after April, I'll be available, and then we can do great shows. Who said them? I said then today being my first.
Mr. And now no milk.
That is my agent.
No coffee and
That is my agent. Oh, Mami hima. Yeah, Mami hima. Send your camera.
Nana hima. What you for?
Nana hima. Say uti ma michiao. Uti michiao pa. It's been a great show. In fact, we were meeting because in 10 minutes, but I think I've had a very wonderful show. I hope, sir, in the course of the months coming by, people will, see me, and then I'm fire so much because it's the first day, and
Madisa. And I say all Ramadan, Dog, maybe so some quick. Senka MPP ni na ntimi rema ka abeka de na akere no.
Kameka so tibon koso. Kameka so Jimmy for. Oh, ade we simple say ntimi rem. Na dem bi na sebi dem bi na betimi awurem. Say we say coming on IMMA-ADIZA show kura ntimi rem a. Then they said, they may be a bit me Jimmy for. Kameka so free, on free, issue, you know.
Now we need that, yes, time no end.
Time press some, you know, but I've had a good over 2 hours of talk, and that has been very wonderful.
Yeah,
I know, sir. Anytime they are done
it, the ask them with the amount.
And it has been a wonderful. Sir. Extra minutes na coin is about cover a year credit out there family bill bremi family invoice bremi na me betwa me de ka se me an mayama
me pacha what you be dada na aba sen twa soso
you just bring me the bill that's all I mean the invoice
I can't let you ati say enya afe na wo betwa watwa bi dada ba te wo be sen twa bi asoso etire nyanti ye de ye ndai cheso a it je de message biem me the invoice ne beba
family invoice mami and say yesu wo ye ni sunti spend ya na ye adwene ho you know because
me pa chom
I was say ye ba ne ye kopa bi te ye you know ye koye show now wa say na say IMMA-ADIZA and Dr. Lawrence and I'm hope everybody will love it.
Doc, me fa kwanya we so any ma ada metiefu ase no mada wasese say me frɛ wo na waje bre no abeka yensa me da etiefu nyina ase me bra Joe Bamboli eso ehweye any mesramo wa mentimi ehu din no e fa che me na me private reply ewo we no so show ne so me da obi bia ase Uncle Ben said your mama odi first me bo odi e dia atato say me da ase Nyankopon hyiraw na eye ne nya nuru ho enso aka kakra bi wo bebo wani na esi nti abra no nyankopɔ de nkwane ahode maya week bia no meka ye tiefo ne adofo say eyie wo ho 27 28 29 of May na adofo ne etiefo atini abejam ewo menya krobo dumase a ewo Eastern region me da etiefo ase na ye woda senne ye woda senne nyankopon so
before you go no the mechanic say uye Ghana ni na say MPP ni bi ba unchen na obeka to say breaking the 8 hwe nanim din na dinatem.
Yes, if you say you know cry no 5 no ni 6 no cry bre ni e ko break 8 dia na na do baba wo dem ekufa do baba ba hwa wo dem say wo TV mienu obetam ba akọ na wakoton na ode aye tax oba na light mienu a obetu ba akọ nti no break the 8 ne de yempe age wasesa ebi say ye bottom skakra no owia yen ene na chese ubenya light ba akọ nti etiefo mesa aka ne biem say nyankopon ya adoma 3rd March no May Ramadan fast nti no eyi bia ye be celebrate nti abra no mekai mo say mekwa akoteki ne life ye be celebrate ne life said ye last year me ye mesa to aso saa nti mo fa hya mutirim enya agro na we no mekọ Central Mosque sankasa no makoteki ne life dia bre etiefo nti no me da Dr. Lawrence asese o join any obi bia ase akola nyame nyankopon enhiraw na next week de enko ne sa afra say na mistake no said ye muni say aha ye NOKWARE ni no me koye no me favorite nti na enye public nti se wo share na enshare afei ana me ho mistake no ana ma rectify nti se o ko click so a ebeba nti mo nhwe me damase because the way I not me back me WhatsApp so aye hye no me hu se adofo ehwe NOKWARE ni aha na ye ka NOKWARE said ye tie na efata without fear or favor said ye broni beka into Dr. Lawrence me name ye tiefo me tiefo beka say ye da wa sister wo bye nti bye bye ye wo da sene
Yo bye.
Okay.